Hi, April Marie Malone here. I found something fascinating. I only have a few minutes before my kids get home and they rag me about flat earth. And this whole thing about me trying to teach you is really so that I have enough courage to teach my kids, because they are my worst critic. Y'all got nothing on them, nothing. Y'all think I'm smart? You haven't spoke with my kids. They are geniuses, okay? So I'm looking at my atlas, which has been brilliant, and many people have contacted me saying they have also gotten an atlas. I wanted to show you something. I've got a magnifying glass here. I mentioned it in my Flat Earth number 2. Here in Antarctica, whether you can see it or not, it has a positive sign. Positive sign. Here in the Arctic, and I told you it was hard to see, but it's still a positive sign.
If I remember right, most maps and most atlases come with a key to them, which tells you what those symbols mean. And this is important because the same symbol can be used in different contexts to mean different things. So the fact that you called it a positive sign does not actually mean that it's the same kind of positive sign that is used, say, with electricity or with charges. You should look at the key to find out what that positive symbol actually means.
So I wanted to tell you some things. I had posted a video about terrestrial magnetism. On the Earth, let's say globe Earth, okay, the North Pole is really the South magnetic pole, right?
I want to give you a little bit of credit for noticing this little quirk, but I feel like if I do, it's going to go to your head. So I'm just not going to give you credit, because what you have noticed is entirely meaningless. Yes, directional north is actually magnetic south. This isn't that hidden or anything, but it's just a language quirk. It doesn't actually mean much. It's like saying that the word palindrome isn't really a palindrome. The word monosyllabic is multisyllabic, or the fact that no number from 1 to 999 uses the letter A. Yeah, it's a nice little fact to know, but that doesn't mean anything. It's a weird quirk between the language that we use, and it has to do with the fact that you are using two different meanings for north. One is directional north, and the other one is magnetic north.
It is really the South, because the South, generally, north is the negative.
You are reading far, far too into this. It's not generally the north is the south magnetic pole. Directional north right now is the magnetic south pole. I don't know why you're reading so much into this. I know that you have a point to make here about this, but I'm just warning you now that you are reading far, far too much into this little language quirk.
So energy comes out of the negative, okay? The south of a magnetism means that it's positive and that energy comes in.
The south of a magnetism means that it's positive. No. The south of a magnetic field is negative, and the north of a magnetic field is positive. I think that's what you're talking about, but again, I can't tell if you're talking about directional north or magnetic north or a magnetism.
So, remember what I told you about the maps? That the sun, the equator is the 0 degrees? That means that the sun, that our whole plane, the whole top of our plane is a south pole. Just like my Freemason friend told me, there is no north. There's no north. The whole plane is a south magnetic pole.
Say what now? You think that the entirety of the plane that you live on is all a magnetic south. You know that if that were true, we could detect it with magnets, so that every free-moving magnet, like a compass, wouldn't point to directional north, but would point to the ground. This is a testable claim. You are making a testable claim, and all you have to do to test it is get a compass and show that it points down. That's it. That's all you'd have to do. I don't understand. Compasses wouldn't work. All right? They just wouldn't work if what you are saying is true. And the hundreds of years of sea navigation entirely contradict what you are saying. The way that we have traveled across the entire world contradicts what you are saying, because we rely on compasses to be accurate in order to travel.
Which has energy come into it. The entire plane of the celestial and or the sun in itself is the negative. And it is the one that puts energy in to our plane. Thank you very much. You may send my Nobel Peace Prize to me.
Did you really just say that? Did you really just say something incredibly stupid and then ask to be given the Nobel Peace Prize without realizing that the Nobel Peace Prize is given to people who further world peace? This sentence perfectly exemplifies what is wrong with the Flat Earth movement. You are arrogantly stupid. You don't even know what the Nobel Prize would be for discovering the fact that the entire world is a south magnetic pole. You don't even know what price it would be, and yet you are asking to be given a Nobel Peace Prize for a stupid comment. No, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass not just for not knowing that there are multiple categories for the Nobel Prize. You're a dumbass for making a claim that is verifiably wrong and then demand to be treated like a genius for it.
I also wanted you to look up E equals mc squared. C stands for the constant of light. Does it really? Look at PBS space-time. E equals mc squared. It really means causality, the cause.
No. That's not how equations work. People don't just sit around, come up with equations, and then attach meaning to them. It's not like Isaac Newton sat around and said, you know what sounds really fancy and rolls off the tongue really nicely? F equals ma. And then decided, oh, we should use that as an equation. Equations are derived, and they talk about relationships that we can see in the real world. And more importantly, equations like E equals mc squared, like F equals ma. Those equations give us predictable results. That is why they are so valuable, because of the predictive capabilities of them. They can be tested. It's not just, this sounds kind of fancy, we should use it. No, we can test to see if the energy of something is equal to the matter times the speed of light squared. We can test this. We can test if the force of something is equal to its mass times its acceleration. These aren't just fancy ones that you can just stick whatever you want. You cannot then say fruits equals mangoes times apples because F equals ma. You cannot do that.
The cause. What is the cause? That's why it made me look at why do they have the sun on the 0-degree equator? It's the cause, the light, the constant of light, the cause, causality. E equals mc squared, PBS space-time. Watch all their stuff. And you can see how they replaced the guy once he started realizing that gravity was bullcrap.
You have said nothing. You're not even wrong. You have just said gibberish. You can't just say that energy equals mass times causality squared. That doesn't mean anything. And like I said earlier, these equations mean something. These symbols aren't arbitrary. They mean something. I don't know how you can do this. I don't know what went through your mind to say that you can replace the speed of light with causality. You are just saying words. They are meaningless. You don't. This is such a word salad. There is. You're not even wrong. Like, you have said nothing. It is meaningless. You're just babbling. You are babbling like an insane person about causality being equal to the speed of light. What does that even mean? That causality is equal to the speed of light? I mean, that's like saying that the smell of a hamburger is the same as the color purple.
They sure did. You will see it too. Have a great day. On the whole entire south magnetic pole of our plane. The entire thing is a south pole, whole thing. If you don't believe me, get an atlas. Get an atlas. Get an old one. I'm sure you can buy new ones too. I'm sure it'll be in there. You just got to look. Open it. Look.
So let me make sure I have this right. You found a plus sign on an old atlas, which, because it looks like a positive sign, you then assume that it means positive. Then, since sometimes the positive sign is used to denote the north pole of a magnet, you now think that the symbol means magnetic north. Now, because magnetic north and directional north use the same word north, you now think that this means directional north. And finally, because directional north is actually the south pole, and because you found the symbol on both the north pole and the south pole of your atlas, we live on a south magnetic plane. You have said nothing. That is just such a word salad. That is meaningless jargon. It means absolutely nothing. How do you make this leap?
Okay. I think that's it. That is it for today. Okay, I did pretty good. Wow. Bye.
April, you are the perfect example of what is wrong with the Flat Earth movement. You are arrogantly stupid. You have absolutely no clue what you're talking about. You have no idea what the meaning of equations are. You have no idea what the meaning of symbols are. You confuse symbols that are common in two different areas, and you pretend as if they mean the same thing. And yet you're arrogant about this, and yet you still think that you're some smart lady who deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. You are just the dumbest. Just the absolute dumbest. That's just the bottom line. I mean, I suggested to the Morgal that he go learn himself some things. I'm not sure that you could learn yourself anything. I think that you are just, I don't know. Are you willingly stupid? Or are you actually stupid? I don't know. You're just dumb. You're just dumb. That's all I got for you. You're dumb.